Hey, it's Tony with lidl.doodle. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I figured that since I talk so much about doing mandalas that I would just share actually the process of how I do it. This plastic tool is from Moxie Dory off Etsy, and it just helps guide the circles and make little markers for drawing the lines that will eventually be all erased. And I don't really measure out how far I am in the circle, or I'm sorry, in the middle, or if it's perfectly centered. If it was going somewhere other than just my sketchbook, I would probably care a little bit more. So once I get all of the lines drawn, I go over it with a kneaded eraser. This will pick up some of the pencil lead, and it allows me to know that, like, if I'm going to use watercolor, the pencil marks won't show through. Once I have all of the pencil marks lifted, pretty light, but I can still see it, I use my Pentel Hybrid Technica. It is water resistant, and I just get these off Amazon. They're super cheap. And I just start, I really just jump in and make my first design. If I overthink it too much, that's where I get in trouble, and I just get too much in my head. Sometimes I will have an actual picture of a mandala pulled up just for ideas of what my next design could be. And then once I have my kind of basic design, I will go through and add some different vertical lines or little curves or waves or things just to give it a little bit more interest. Picked a color card from my color cube, and I'm going to leave the dark blue, black, purple off. I thought I was just going to grab only diamine ink vent bottles, just because I'm trying to use a lot of those up because I have so many, and I've actually been contemplating not getting the ink vent calendar this year because I have so many of these tiny little bottles, but then that would be sad. I am going to use the Monyo ink for that peach because I think it's just a really good match. And then that mint, I think it's mint tea for that green. So I'm going to watercolor this, and I'm using wet on wet, which means I'm getting my paper wet first, and then I will also have my brush wet and then get my brush in the ink, and it will give it more of kind of like a loose, flowy color. I am noticing with this that maybe I didn't let the black ink dry enough, because it does have a little bit of a bleed on it. But again, because it's in my notebook, I honestly don't really care. So just using the wet on wet and just picking the colors and going along and just kind of tapping my brush to get the desired saturation. Okay, so we are almost done here. I went ahead and decided to bleed that outside color all the way to the end, and then I will just let it dry and then flip it over and date it on the back side. Okay, so I thought I would just follow up now that everything is all dry and then show you a couple of other ones that I have done here. So I used some shimmer ink in that. So let's see, I went over this with my Zodiac Penco that has the Oregon Marionberry that I added some shimmer to. So this was with my actual fountain pen, these little guys. So been working on this one. I'm not super happy with this, but I've colored all of this in with my fountain pens filled with ink. It's a little stripy, and then I'm going back over it with a thicker black pen to give it some definition. Here's just one work in progress that I'll probably finish up and paint tonight. Let's see. This one also with my fountain pens. I thought this was, I like the color combination of this. I did not pick a card out of my cube. I just went for these colors. And then I think I may have already shown these ones. Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully that gave you some ideas for how you can do a mandala. The other thing I wanted to point out is you don't have to do as many of these lines as I did in this one, right? So I did a bunch of those lines. You can make them further spread out. So this one only has, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's shorter sections, or I'm sorry, smaller sections, fewer lines, and then it just kind of simplifies it, and maybe you make your designs a little bit wider. So there is always that option if you're feeling a little overwhelmed with all of that. So let me know if you have any questions. This was kind of a different video than I'm used to doing, so I don't know, hopefully the editing and everything makes sense, and it give you some good ideas. So if there's something that I left out or that I could have explained more clearly, feel free to drop a comment and just let me know, and I'll do my best to answer and or elaborate if I need to. But yeah, that's how I do my mandalas, and thanks for watching. Hope that helped, and I will see you in the next video.